Yeah, from winning the pistol to losing the second round, you only get given $1,400 for that. Repercussions of their actions. And so yeah, they go with that force buy. I think many teams would go with that same route.
There's a voice in their head that's trying to say, it's okay, it's CT side nuke. But the problem is they weren't losing in the first half because of their side. They were losing because they were being bulldozed. And that doesn't change. Roadblocks don't spawn out of nowhere. Someone needs to come up here and build one. Create a barrier. Put up a stand, put up a show. And maybe ramp is where it can start. Lights are on, cameras are here, but what's the action going to look like? Digit finds the first one, no more than that, and Uaso can't collect on a second frag either. They have fallen apart. 9Z will find consolation outside and a weapon with it. But again, it feels like it's going to be a save, but maybe Buddha's got other things in his mind. Committing to the rotate fast enough. Max has got a kit as well. They still want to go for this one, Michael.
They will certainly try their hand at it. Pesadeo on low HP, but they're trying to spam for those rosters. None of those bullets actually connecting onto S8Z, who sits atop them. And yeah, because they can't find that kill quite quick enough, too difficult for them to flush these Insanity players out of their positions. No Molotovs and no smokes. That could have done a lot to provide them some extra safety. Insanity dodge out, losing to the counter force buy here from 9Z. They'll find themselves up to 10. They have truly leveled up after their loss. Oh, come on, S8Z. Your teammate just died in front of you. Don't do that to him. He was dancing on his body.
He's had a lot of bodies to dance on so far.
It has truly been a massive mental battle to come back into this map, but they've been playing mental Counter-Strike. They have been outclassing 9Z on one of their strongest maps in the pool.
I mean, if they can do this on Nuke, then, man, Ancient up next is going to be scary, too. If you've got dominant players like this who want to push on the CT side, that's exactly what Ancient is. Max, first kill found, safely so. Feels like one of the first time we've seen that actually happen. A frag untraded for 9Z. Fasten is down in the lower bomb site. Buddha will contend with him, but Buddha's lost his AK, and with that, a lot of the chances they had in the round, but Max elsewhere has found two more. Maybe this was the play.
Yeah, he kept fighting in from ramp, and Insanity were trying to walk in, expecting maybe that rifle to have rotated to pick up the slack, but it's Hwasao on this USP that's instead finding the angle over. Fasten does so much damage, but can't quite finish off the kill. Digit and Martinez now getting their hands on rifles as well, and with Fasten on this low health, bomb detached from him, his prospects of winning the round likely going up in flames. 9Z off of a couple of saved weapons.
I mean, realistically, it's just the one. Buddha doesn't even do anything with his.
That is true. But off the couple of saved weapons and pistols that surround it, overturning what could have been, I mean, and probably should have been a lock-in round here for Insanity.
But I mean, look at this adjustment. Look at the difference in how Max is able to hold out a ramp. They've had the right call in the previous round as well. They had the double ramp set up, but they just can't get the multi-kill. You know, that's sort of been the core problem for 9Z. Maybe not throughout the game. They've been I mean, I would argue S8Z has been the core problem for them throughout the game, but generally they've been struggling to get multi-kills in any scenario.
You know who's not struggling? Our partners over at 1xBet. That code on screen, if you'd scanned it with your phone, would direct you to their mobile app. There's also a banner underneath the stream where you can bet on the go and make use of the esports era event, where if you get the correct score, even if you lose your bet, could be entitled for a free bet. Do show our partners some love.
Oh. Dish it downstairs early on. Molotov will reveal his position. He might not really want to contend. He's just trying to stick around, go for the jump spot, see what he can find. And Max will be the delayed peak, but DJ's life is lost because of it. Max not cleared out. Fast in as a freebie. Can he go for more? He's looking for it and connecting. The leader comes up, stands up tall. But unfortunately, he'll have no more ground to stand on pretty soon. If this is going to be an upper side hit, he has to leave it up to his teammates. Martinez and Huaso rotate through soon, quick. But the bomb will be planted. And as they try and deny, Pesadeo's found both.
How on earth has Pesadeo done that? Neither 9Z player looking for that angle over towards that CT vent. Or rather, the T vent, sorry. And Pesadeo has bailed them out, found the kill on the rotate, and then safeguards the plant perfectly. They lined up for him inside of heaven. But 9Z caught asleep at the wheel. They had the players in the right spot. All they needed to do was post up on that angle. Such a common one to try and safeguard from heaven. And neither check it.
I have to ask about whether anyone but Max is really even in on the game on the CT side. Digit can't find a kill to save his life over there either. Buddha in the previous round, the same angle, can't get it done. Huaso and Martinez don't clear out one of the most commonly held post-plant positions.
It's not even post-plant, pre-plant positions. You know, they skip steps. And you can't do that if you try to make a cake.
Well, Buddha does find one over here, falls in. However, inside the smoke is able to get all the success in the world, and Max now can't be the hero. Huaso and okay, never mind. Martinez and Huaso. I thought for a second Martinez just threw away his gun and gave up. I was like, it's a bit early for that.
No. And Huaso and Martinez are saving. Because what else could you do in a situation like this?
Just get a gun in Max's hands and hope he delivers.
I did not expect an Insanity to play, or this Insanity rather, to play like this on Nuke. To go up against 9Z's strongest map in the pool, and for them to just obliterate them.
They've mentally broken them as well.
Almost certainly. But the way that they were playing on that CT side, the way that they're I guess feeling the groove of this map, 9Z haven't looked in it from the start. You know, they're having to win crazy clutch rounds, close nail-biter finishes just to recover 4 rounds from that T side. It was far from comfortable. Insanity really emphatically showing what 9Z are made of. Or showing 9Z what they're made of.
Exactly what you needed right now for Martinez. Gets aggressive through the Molotov into Squeaky, finds the first. And that's lobby completely cleared out. They can start to focus in on outside, but they'll have to do it with Max and Afama. It's not the best weapon to actually try and get the job done with, but Martinez has gone all the way through for more. Might be the most impact we've seen him had, and it's about time as someone stood up with Max. Martinez is going to continue fighting in. Not quite the kill he wanted over here, but in the meanwhile, his teammates are collecting. Now, Cassin in this ace clutch attempt, it's not about the round, it's about the damage he can do. That being said, he is now in a 1v3 with 50 seconds on the ball.
I mean, that's enough time, but I don't know, the way that he's approaching this doesn't look like he's really that fixated on trying to pull together this clutch. Insanity, if you look at the reserve cash available, everybody except for Cassin, pretty low on funds. And that's no fun. You have to say Martinez giving SHC a little taste of their own medicine to a certain extent. You know, just finding that first kill, immediately ascending and flanking them outside. That's what SHC was up to a lot of their CT side. I think the problem I'll have here is that you're maybe not expecting players like Martinez, or really anyone on the side of INZ, to be making plays like this all too consistently.
I agree, but listen, right now is about regaining confidence. It's about getting a little bit of a groove back in your step as you go into the next map. You have to take this round by round and everything, but in the back of everyone's mind, there is the idea that, yeah, we're probably out of this. If you start feeling a little bit more, well, you know what? That's a win in itself. Timeout from Insanity to discuss whether or not to buy. They will choose against it.
So let's think about this. Pistol round, 2 survivors.
Right.
Max triple kill on saved M4.
Okay.
And now Martinez sending it through door. Those are all the CT rounds that 9Z have. None of them seems replicatable whatsoever. I mean, one of them is a pistol round. That's not happening again, for sure.
But we said the same thing about their T-side wins as well, and they did get 4 of those, so...
Yeah, no two even vaguely similar to the other.
Yeah. Or vaguely replicatable.
I just don't know how many of these random finish rounds we have left here for 9Z.
Careful, Martinez. Oh, he looks away. He looks away. He's worried about a flashbang. It's entries for Insanity, and they found guns and an advantage. And guess what, Michael? They're going to get a free bomb plant, and Digit can't rotate unless he goes out from secret stairs.
Now, IDK holding onto Heaven with a Glock is not the most threatening prospect. You will get information at the very least. You will delay, try to do as much damage as possible. But as they retake that area of the map, that's a free kill for Max. And 2 players committed into the site. They were trying to make use of this boost. There's a lot of util available here for 9Z. All these Molotovs, a carpet of flames. They descend right into those flames themselves. But they're losing lives. And Huaso trying to stick that bomb at the back of the bomb site. Cannot pull through on the defuse. It's on a low buy that Insanity strike through and finally close here on Nuke.
I mean, it's practically an eco. There's one saved rifle. They don't buy into armor. They buy a deagle, maybe a P250 here or there. But yeah, it's insane. Genuinely it is. And to be fair, with the amount of random rounds that we saw Max and company on Digit on 9Z being able to pick up, it feels only fair that Insanity get one of these back too. As much as Insanity's round wins were absolutely crazy on that CT side, they were crazy because the player is just aggressively pushing forward and finding duels, finding kills. It's a display of skill. It's not a display of desperation at any point.
Yeah, I think no mistake, regardless of how the round score would have finished on this map, it was very clear Insanity came here to play on Nuke. Maybe anticipating it in this veto, I'm not sure, but they played with so much confidence. All their players were hitting disgusting shots. They were the better team on this map through and through. And now that brings us into an Ancient where, you know, we're going to get a lot more of those raw duels, a lot more of those opportunities to sort of limit test the defaults that... I don't know, Insanity are going to feel very good about the way that they game planned from Nuke. I can only hope that they transfer into that third map as well as they did here.
We've seen some big upsets already. The question is there one more left, or will 9Z come through home safe home over towards that semi-final? Let's find out, though, after a small break. We'll be back with Ancient, and boy, is this one heating up.
1xBet and EVA Alfie present betting on all esports events on the website and in the 1xBet app. 1xBet. Play with EVA.
changing quickly.
Sector clear. Copy. Sector clear. Copy.
Get it.
The world is changing, but one thing remains the same. Victories with 1xBet.
We have only had one favorite survive the quarterfinals so far, and 9Z, boy, are they being put to the test as well. They might be number 3 to fall out of contention. Insanity have taken it to them both in maps 1 and 2. Sure, Inferno they couldn't close out, but their opponent's map pick of Nuke looked so easy for them.
Yeah, an incredibly confident looking Insanity coming out of that second map, that's for sure. Because they came out all guns blazing, whether it was S8Z, Fasten, Pesadillo with some of those rounds. IDK seemingly slid in there with only 5 kills, but the rest of the squad was absolutely picking apart 9Z throughout that entire second map. And I can only imagine the confidence boost that gives them after they shied away towards the end of Inferno, for them now to have had that confident stride, understanding that they can just outduel a lot of these guys on 9Z. Sure, they might be favorites. This Insanity team cannot be underestimated moving into this final map, where you will have quite a lot of those sort of vanilla feeling duels once again against a 9Z that are probably quite shaken up losing their own map pick.
And I said it in map 2, I'll say it over here in map 3 as well. We have not had a stand-up performance from anyone on 9Z. It felt like Max was giving us a couple of glimmers of hope into the second half of Nuke, but overall, 9Z have not had a hero. Meanwhile, on Insanity, it was SHC on Nuke, and across the series, it's been Pesadeo. On Infernal, he was so good on those B-site holds. On Nuke, he was so good playing in from Garage. Pesadeo and SHC are coming in heads held high, shoulders wide. They are here to dominate. 9Z, it is going to be up to them to actually put a stop to this from Insanity.
Absolutely. I really don't know which version of either team we're really going to receive, whether 9Z will awaken from their slumber, this sort of slower style that has been both a massive burden on them, but also a blessing at times, or whether we get this confident-looking Insanity coming into this final map. I'm excited to see which one of these teams makes it into the semi-final. And Insanity will start on the T side, where they can get up to some of those tricks, but they'll have to wait for that second half for all that CT side aggression that SHC was really putting on the table.
Looks like a bit of a A-sided solo lurk for SHC, who's going to get aggressive. Spots out Martinez. Martinez unable to get the early frag, and SHC backs off. He's worried about the late peek from the side in case it's a double A setup, which it is, but not quite double A main.
They were probing towards the bottom side of ramp as well. 9Z wanted to fish for information, but they end up relatively empty-handed. Maybe hoping that they'd find a kill. Also, a smoke that deploys at the front side of Donut, but a Molotov that greets them at the back of it. They want to try and barrel straight through this smoke, and that may be a mistake. Quaso, 1 kill in, and trying to duck away from sight lines, but they got eyes on that bomb. They find that extra man inside of Donut, but Max is on a quick flank.
Okay. Oh my goodness, he's going to be able to find both of a head. Digit is a more labored kill, so although Max was flanking, turns out one of the flanks is better than the others. IDK comes out on top, and like you said, he had a quieter Nuke overall, but he's starting off Ancient pretty damn well.
And 9Z really weren't sure which direction Insanity were going to head based off of the early prongs towards the A and B bomb site alike, and Insanity rushing straight through that smoke, able to deal with these players inside of Donut, did a whole lot to alleviate that strain and draw eyes away from IDK's lurk. A whole lot to write home about there for 9Z on that pistol. See, those odds have very quickly shifted more in favor of Insanity. At the start of this series, what, it was 1 to 7?
Yeah.
1.07, I think, to 7. So
something just above 1 to just above 7.
Yeah. So our partners over at 1xBet maybe a little nervous.
Yeah, they've been converted. They've been converted. Speaking of converted, Insanity will be able to comfortably convert out the post-pistol round as well.
Yeah. 4 USP stack on that B-bomb site, only for Insanity to just rip straight through A instead. I'm surprised they're
Smoke
not
will
trying to
fade.
set up for the flash, because Wasso does have that in his hands.
Why flash when you can shoot?
Yeah, but
Oh, that's why. I see.
yeah, but you could have flashed and then shot, you know? Like, why buy it if you don't use it?
I feel like my question looks better on a t-shirt. I'm just saying. Insanity, however, are not here for t-shirts. They are here for prize money and relog points. And so far, they've been making a good show of things. It might surprise you guys to know that up until this pistol round, 9Z had actually won 3 out of the 4 pistol rounds in the 2 maps that they played. 2 of those they failed to convert on, though.
Damn, that's a pretty harrowing stat.
Yeah.
Well,
Martinez.
needs to do a lot. He has no support.
Is he being checked, though? Is he being cleared? They don't know what's going on. Martinez gets one for free, completely free. And as Fastin is already into Donut, maybe wasn't expected, but regardless, Digit unable to find the second. Smoke into CT, and Max is looking to push through. Dodges a flash as well. Good for one. Can he make it two? They've moved away from the bomb plan, but it will not matter. Max keeps it going, and IDK responds with a Mac 10. Gets involved. Galil recovered. Time of plenty. Bomb on his back as well. Neither player low enough that the nade could be a significant threat, but IDK can be. Time aplenty to rotate back, also space to go into temple, so both Buddha and Digit are going to be very worried in their respective positions.
If IDK outbrains them, you know, he's sitting on 9 HP. If he's able to get enough space to find an isolated fight, or even enough space to plant, that would honestly be a pretty solid win for him in this circumstance.
He still needs to find a fight first. If he can just get one kill here, that could be everything. Oh, he's made the way over. The bomb plant is guaranteed now. Buddha realizes too late that he's not going to be nearby. The grenade goes deep, but it's not deep enough. It bounces off the wall, and Digit hadn't been softened up. Had that nade hit, you never know.
Yeah, he would have had to hit on a quick dink, but that certainly could have been a possibility. Even without the nade, you know, Digit didn't have head armor, so there was a possibility there for that swing. Just needed to collect on that frag instantly. But the walkout from A was very well justified. Martinez couldn't actually spot those players progressing close towards Donut. That's why those players on the rotate got cut down. If it wasn't for this play out from the CT smoke by Max, the round probably falls apart there for 9Z. They were going to be trapped behind all that utility. Once again, Max presenting a good look for this 9Z roster. Has been the one consistent contributor throughout the series. All while in-game leading too.
Talk about a man of many talents.
Well, unfortunately, his talent's off the server, so this will be a round reset.
Who you gonna call? Match Medic.
I actually wasn't sure where you're going with that, whether it was going to be more clever than that somehow.
No, I actually thought it was a phantom bug again. But I don't know if it is, because the X is in near the B.
Yeah.
So we don't know if there's like a ghost standing there or not.
Well, actually, he was there. Yeah, I saw him just on the
Okay.
corner of our view.
Well, there's something strange.
It is good that happens at the start of a round and not towards
Yes.
the end of it, which is where things get a little bit awkward.
I feel like if you're going to have a crash in the late round, though, this feels like a safe crash, right? Because sure, there's some disadvantage that you've had a player disconnect, but also you've got the advantage that you've got like the perfect body double that no one's going to understand. I'm shooting at it. Why is it not dying? What's going on? This and that. Like the confusion it causes. So you both get something out of the crash, really.
Yeah, to be fair, our bugs are other games' features. There, there's some weird body double stuff going on in other competitive shooters that.
Is it really?
Yeah, I saw
Oh, God.
I saw a clip from Rainbow Six the other day where a player went inside of like a
What?
like a mannequin that looks like a player with a gun.
Wait, they have superpowers
I
in Rainbow
don't
Six?
know. It was weird. I didn't know what was going on, but it seemed it was like a weird highlight.
Okay, I don't know, man. I don't understand it when I watch it, let alone when you're explaining it to me.
Exactly,
Right? So I'm
and
gonna stray
I
away
only
from
saw
that
the
one.
clip because apparently it was hilarious. So
Well, listen, all I understand is that it is hilarious how great our partners are over at 1xBet. They are giving you guys up to 130% first time deposit bonus with the code 1xRES LATAM. That's 1xRESLATAM. On their website, you can go check that one out, or you can download the app by iOS or Play Store, or just scroll down to the description or the chatbot in the chat.
well, Max is back with us, so hopefully he's able to stay in the server as well. Another investment round in which Insanity are going to set a lot of attention over towards mid. A good Molotov that tags up Huaso on his transit over towards the donut position. Him and Digit doubling up. Martinez once again in this one and done angle. But Casson has an AWP, and that's a little scary on the other end.
I don't think they're going to expect Martinez playing the same one and done angle multiple times. At least not so close together. But it should be checked at least. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, Martinez jiggled it, and Casson punishes. They get that kill. Well, are they still going to stage over towards the A bomb site? Because, well, there is only 50 seconds left on this clock. There is a whole possibility that they could route back to B. You can see 9Z are considering that as a chance. Pisadeo has a good position close towards the red room. A Molotov that headbutts Max. And they're going to keep going towards this A bomb site. Digit's under a whole lot of pressure. He does have Huaso as a quick correspondent, but there are Molotovs either side of him. Digit gets away with his first kill, but Max with his MP9 is not at the effective range for that weapon. And they know of Pesadeo's flank, but they can't do anything to stop it. Buddha trying his best to find this trade, but now put into a 1 versus 3. This is a round well cooked. Insanity breaking through on a third.
SSZ, he peeks? Okay. All right. Takes on Buddha over there. It's interesting to see how Insanity are using 3 smokes really early on for their default. They're chucking one out towards cave, one towards red room, and an instant smoke to extinguish a Molotov as well, to always have the ability to have one player lurking out the middle. So they're low on smokes, and despite that, it feels like 9Z are really antsy at any given time.
Yeah, I expect the change that we're likely to see here from 9Z is that they'll have to be assertive on taking B lane control. That seems to be the solution for a lot of teams if they're feeling as though they don't have enough information to work off of. They're being denied access to middle because of the Molotovs that Insanity are throwing. If they want to journey past that, they'll take a lot of health off them. So kind of expecting that B will be the aggressive route for 9Z to get that information. It's not one of those rounds that we can consider a part of the sample size, but good kill from Martinez, the sole defender of this B bomb site. They got a kill with a 4 push through A earlier on, so they do have a man advantage, but again, they still won't have the weaponry to back it up.
One is recoverable, AK for Digit found, but these nades are good.
The flank is really dangerous as well.
Yeah, the bomb's actually in the hands of Cassin, who's got the op, so he's hard scoping all the way forward. The question is Digit going to be making noise? Oh, he does, and now the op's turned around. Cassin's got advantage on this flank, and that's all they needed. Had Digit not gotten stuck on the little rock around the corner, I don't even think he would have actually started to accelerate.
Yeah, perhaps a little unfortunate. But fortune favors Cassin in that moment, hearing that step and turning his attention to what could have been a very dangerous flank, considering Insanity were still slow rolling into this B bomb site.
It's really nice to see Pesadeo as well, going for more of a mid-side focus rather than, you know, where we've been praising him on these anchoring sort of positions on CT's side. It does feel like he's going to be very comfortable with how much maneuverability he could ask for with the amount of utility that they're using. Pass in on the other side, flashbang doesn't matter. Max has got the trade, but the amount of information found for the T side is not to be scoffed at. Oh,
that's a good spam. Now to a player that has been coming in pretty red hot into Ancient. IDK 9-2, but his second death, he doesn't really get given a fair duel. But you can see 9Z are still not fully understanding whether or not Insanity are going to continue progress over at B or not. You have to consider a multitude of different options. They've liked inserting a lurking player. And they're all too familiar with how impactful a lurk can be.
Max is going to be able to spot out Cassin. Cassin not expecting the tucked angle, and Buddha's here as backup. Takes a lot of damage, sure, but now comes in the spam, lined up for default. More than the back default plot. Pesadeo will be able to retreat off as well. Actually, no, he's taking the fight to them, and with Buddha low, if he finds Buddha initially, who also is not in the greatest of angles to actually fight, but he does manage to get the swing out.
Yeah, that could have gotten very awkward. Very awkward indeed. Pesadeo able to find that first kill, but for them to have collected that trade so quickly, able to make use of the fact they had that man advantage. That was leveraged even further by Max's off angle. So again, more high impact in from the in-game leader of 9Z.
Martinez's impact has been pretty limited. Nuke or Ancient, he cannot continue to be quiet. All but they're ready, his teammate down, and Martinez needs to continue defending. There is no smoke to interrupt him just yet, but he keeps facing into these flashes. Max on the MP9 buys enough time and space for Martinez to pick up his second. And in doing so, re-peeks back out. Martinez looking good now. The Spaniard, the star import coming alive right as they need him the most, but Pesadeo and Cassin is still going to try and make work of this. Cassin, however, is being spammed down, not given a fair shot at all. Still makes a show of things. Second kill found. But it won't be enough. 9Z will collect the third.
A nice try there from Cassin, that's for sure. They weren't 100% certain as to where he was positioned, and you know, catching off that first player, the follow-up no scope. You know, it's hard to do much about that when you've got an AWP and you've got 3 players rushing at you. He made it expensive at the very least. Insanity didn't come in with the best looking buy. They had a lot of pistols alongside the AWP and AK that they bring forward. But a really great job from Martinez. And, you know, you highlight the fact that Max is able to spam that player chasing him down on short. If not for that, then the Martinez probably does get overrun towards spawn, and this round is certainly on. Oh my goodness, that's a very aggressive mood there from DGT, sitting through the flames that they've thrown to stop that ascent to ledge. They do find a counter kill in towards cave. Digit does rectify. Or rather, Buddha is the one that keeps a handle on that B-bomb site, but their presence has been noted, but they simply cannot address it. 9Z, a very confident round dealing with those pistols. I thought the solution would be to start challenging on through ledge like that. They've been denied so many times prior. Now Digit able to strike in with some success.
Curious to see whether Insanity want to go back to that 3 smoke setup in the middle. That felt like that's what their response was to any possible sort of lead side play from the CT. Because it makes it so, I actually think that smoke makes it so you can almost always flame walk and have an advantage onto the peak versus the ledge. But meanwhile, it's right into middle, and where we ask for aggression, it comes through from the T side. Pesadeo starts off strong with a double kill. Huaso does respond on the lurker, but there's still one more in that came from Martinez. Can't get more than a single. And Huaso's still alive. Players are low, and he's got the spray transfer. Huaso gets it done.
Oh, that he does. 4 kills from Huaso. Found that first pick inside of A and repositioned perfectly. They were still hunting, expecting him to be inside of A main. They weren't sure that he'd thunderfoot his way back onto the A bomb site. Even though his teammate got overrun, Huaso just collects. Back-to-back 4Ks here from 9Z. First from Digit, now from Huaso against the full buy after Pesadeo does that.
Yeah. Well, we've now seen multi-kills from 3 different players, and the question is it going to continue on? Huaso says yes. Again, I do not care if this is an anti-eco. 9Z have been in the doldrums throughout this series.
Yeah, they haven't been able to rely on multi-kills for most of this series.
And after that nuke, I honestly thought that Insanity was not going to let them be activated here on Ancient either.
Hell, given the start we saw from Insanity, I think, you know, there's evidence to support that claim.
The response to Pesadeo is nades, but they don't actually connect. Good damage found onto the double donut setup, but Farstin wants to continue forward. This is the crucial shot, and that's where Max comes in. Shuts down his teammate. And with SHC out, Farstin was forced to make a play that he collects on very happily. So that's actually a CT smoke that Pesadeo is standing inside. And Max is expecting it. In fact, Max is waiting for this exact play to be made. And he finds it, but he doesn't get the kill. Pesadeo's adjustment too fast. Martinez holds off a B-side aggression. Elsewhere, Martinez finds another, and IDK will fall despite Pesadeo's heroics. 2 rounds in a row. It will not be enough. 9Z finds 7 and an advantage for money as you finish the half.
And listen, this might have come at the scariest time here for Insanity. They have been pressuring 9Z throughout this entire series, and now you're starting to see these players come more online. You ask for Martinez to start having performances on this AWP. You ask for a Digit to start having some of these heroics. And maybe we didn't ask for Huaso to step up to the plate as well, but goddamn, he is delivering. Suddenly, that momentum that Insanity come into this map with has been struck in and taken by 9Z. They are running and rolling with the punches towards the end of this half. And we praised Insanity for their ability to reset between maps. After a heartbreaking finish to Inferno, after they made on 9Z uncomfortable, yet again, they came out all guns blazing, full confidence, lightning quick on all these entries. I mean, they're still getting some of those mechanical displays, but now they're being wrought with this multi-kill potential that has suddenly come to light here on 9Z.
IDK is not happy with how this round started off. He's been given one responsibility: try and keep these CTs contained. Martinez, in the meanwhile, he won't have any smokes to try and play up against. He only has to make sure that they can't go for the temple skill. Meanwhile, IDK is found out as well. So a 5-on-3 retake. Pesadeo needs to start evening the score very soon. Martinez continues forward. Doesn't see anyone on tree initially, and he'll meet and eat the nade. Boosted player needs to find something. SAC's not quite been the hero like he was back in Nuke, and was so aggressing back to the site. SAC found out as well. 9Z have collected 8 despite the early start from Insanity.
Yeah, that is a hell of a way to come online. When they locked in, 9Z just kept on cooking. I mean, we had these massive multi-kills that Insanity just couldn't bounce back from, and now that that momentum is firmly in 9Z's camp, I don't think there's any doubt about it. They'll transition into that T side with a strut about them that Insanity, I mean, in these past few rounds, just haven't been able to meet. I don't know what happened. Who started giving motivational talks here to the 9Z camp, but it's worked.
Maybe in the tech timeout, they all just went back and saw their HLTV for the score. It's like, oh, we can't point fingers. We need to look internally. We need to upgrade. We need to level up. And to be honest, that's exactly what's happened.
I think they probably would have done that between maps, if anything else.
No one's checking HLTV between maps. You're talking about things.
No one's checking it during games either.
I've just helped you debunk my theory. Well, with friends like you, Michael, what do I need enemies for?
What?
It's a bit of a pause before that second half can begin. Midside is where the aggression starts in, where Farsoon's been flashed off, and Max is happy to collect off the back of it. Wants to continue fighting. Martinez providing backup, and what backup it is. The P250 only fires once, but it's rung their bells twice now. Actually, it is 2 bullets, but hey, the only counting we do is of kills.
Oh. No one could hit a shot. No one could punish these peaks of 9Z. They fight on that mid floor. Insanity were there to greet them, but they get obliterated. And if that's not the way that this game has changed its tune, I don't know how else to exemplify it. And you just think about all those rounds on Nuke where they did not care who was on the other side of that screen.
I think they've started to care.
I think they have to.
And as any 21-year-old boy who has just got his first six-pack will tell you, never care.
Yeah, that's some of that new age grind set self-improvement.
Yeah. Well, it's 5 USBs in middle, and that is something to be farmed. Sure, some team damage coming out is not going to be particularly helpful, but you know what? That nade from Digit will do the job, even if he doesn't want to do it himself.
And Ledge still safeguarded as well, especially with the player losing their life. They want to make sure that no rifles are recovered. No possibility of things going wrong. 1 kill in 2 rounds here at the start, but not too different to how Insanity kind of pulled through at the start of this game. They just need to, I guess, channel that same energy somehow, manifest their way into rounds, because they're going to need it. 9Z have started to power up at the end of this series.
Max is trying to play from outside of that smoke. He's Got every advantage he could have wanted there. Pesadeo taken down. He was not ready for the fight at all. Meanwhile, Digit, another surprise man, comes in and gives Cassin a bad day. SHC, sure, finds one. There's still 2 more players to deal with on the B-bomb side, but 9Z are fixated. They have one place they want to go. And Fasten is going to be just another milestone on their way there. SHC found out as well. Great positioning. 9Z will find that 11th round very soon. Looking good doing it.
They're just getting completely locked out now. I don't know if they expended all their energy for that nuke performance or what. But this ship has taken a quick 180.
And they're hunting.
Yeah, if they find IDK just nestled away, there will be nothing saved. Good news is that also doesn't pursue into spawn, and that should mean that IDK holds on to this M4, so I guess there's something positive out of this. I think Buddha just disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Of course, if you guys back at home have had, you know, moments where you're like, well, I've had an unfortunate loss. Well, if you were actually playing with 1xBet and were participating in the Esports Era event and you had a correct score bet, but you lose the bet, you could be eligible for a free bet, because that's how our partners over at 1xBet get it done.
Yeah, it's like that free bet safety net.
Oh. My man is a copywriter. And of course, if you're wondering where you could go out for these jingly jangles, well, that's Michael, but the actual deal comes out from our partners at 1xBet. You can find them in the link below, or in the link in the chat, or on iOS, or on Play Store. Lots of places to find them if you are looking for them.
Do they have guides on how to win games? Because I'm sure Insanity could use that.
Nice.
They definitely have been impressive against 9Z. One of the, like you've mentioned, one of the few remaining favorites we have within these playoffs. And they tested them throughout this series, but this final map has not gone that same way. Opening engagements over towards lane, and Pesadeo and Cassin do convert on a trifecta of kills. In fact, they're keeping that pressure applied. Huaso not feeling all too comfortable, and he should be completely negligent of this angle. Pesadeo inserting himself and finding a kill right in the back of Huaso's head. So off of a low buy here from Insanity, they have sparked some interest, an aggressive move made that 9Z weren't ready for.
Earlier today, I believe there was another 11-4, where there was a big economic advantage that was against Solid. On Dust 2, I do believe it was. They ended up losing out to full USPs. It went the distance to the full 26 rounds.
You're talking about the LCM Scout.
Yes.
Everyone else on
LC.
USPs.
Yeah. That's how Solid almost made that comeback happen.
Yeah. Emphasis on almost, because they did end up still losing.
Well, listen, the point is, there could still be sweat to come out of these pores.
Yeah. I think if it's anything that 9Z have learned, is that Insanity have fight.
Good to see the fact that Insanity are able to at least get one of these rounds out where they're getting a chance to be aggressive and sort of play that style that I will probably forever characterize in my head after that nuke performance.
How could you not? I would struggle to find a way where you don't reflect on that game, even if you're Insanity, and just think, man, this is peak performance. Because it really does show some of the potential and some of the talent that still resides on this roster, even if they are sort of an unproven 5 together. That is what they could potentially be achieving maybe further down the pipeline. Again, this game is not over just yet, but it is looking like the writing's on the wall. To recover from an 11-5, well, rather from an 11-4, would be certainly something. More aggro lane utility here from Insanity, but not committing as many bodies out when they've got this investment. Cassin, AWP in the right spot to address any people walking out through A main. A jump across to get confirmation on location, but they're fumbling this tree boost a few too many times, and
it's a wrong way.
4th time is the jump. They still didn't get anybody up tree.
They didn't account for the additional verticality of standing on a step.
Yep.
It's the other player who has to boost up. Well, they're going to learn that lesson on Dust 2 Elevator pretty soon if they haven't already. Huaso, first kill found, and second one, duel is negated at least. So despite all of the fumblings, 9Z do still find themselves an advantage early in and a completely vacant middle, only to soon be reoccupied by Cassin. In fact, Boston is also considering getting aggressive, and he's just been taken down as a result of it. Will they be ready for a second? No, they won't. SHC nearby, but Martinez's op is fully scoped in. He's also got the bomb. So if SHC had found kills elsewhere, this could have still been a doable round.
2 versus 3. I mean, hard to think that you don't try and go for this here on Insanity. There has to be some level of heroics, surely. They've got money in the pocket of both these remaining players, and the AWP of Cassin will commit to the flank. But there are 2 players here, and the AWP of Martinez already trained on that progression. And now IDK will have to run and save. Might be able to grab his hands on that AWP if he's feeling so brave, but why risk it?
He can drop.
But after all this early fumbling here from 9Z, they just couldn't boost onto tree for some reason. You know, I think you highlight the exact right thing, the not accounting for elevation. Even with all of that, they make a great adaptation. They leave Huaso on the lurk for the re-aggression in through A main. Insanity were curious, given that there was presence there earlier on, only to be met with nothing. And this rediversion from ledge to the B bomb site was the right solution.
Insanity are still going to have a pretty respectable buy overall. But respect cannot be limited to money. It has to come down to the kills and the rounds as well. And so far, 9Z have had no reason to respect them. 12-5. And I don't know what you can do. The only round they have found was aggression on a half buy. Cassin now gets an early kill. Martinez, common op angle then is plucked out. Trains out towards the B site as well.
Yeah, Pisadeo's gone aggressive, and Buddha's found his entry, but they get the boost and they find the kill onto Cassin, who wasn't quite expecting them to have built and managed that when his ult was still in position. A man advantage plucked out of thin air here from 9Z, but there is a flank available from IDK, but they're doubling up on this. Pesadeo's behind him.
And Huaso's not looking at the right angle, but he has slipped out. He gets the first one, and IDK has been forced to reveal position. Buddha would have been insurance, but it's never needed. Huaso on a triple puts 9Z to 13. They will come through. They will persevere. The favorites will actually win the series.
Yeah, it wasn't looking like that was going to be a possibility, to be quite honest. Insanity came out with some impressive performances on both those first 2 maps, but then we started to see that latent ability on 9Z unlocked towards the end of that first half on Ancient. They really just powered up, and they just kept on just punching Insanity in the gut time after time with these ripper headshots and these big multi-kills. I have to say, hats off to Insanity for such a pressed series. They definitely impressed me as far as not really recognizing their game coming into this tournament. Them getting into the playoffs in the first place is probably a big achievement given the lifeline on this roster. But facing off against 9Z, it was going to prove to be an endurance race for them, and they fall flat on that final map.
Look, we know exactly what's coming up for you guys tomorrow. It's going to be the semi-finals, Pain versus Bestia, Crew Esports going up against 9Z team. Everyone in the prize money from the top 4, everyone trying to find it out for those reload points, everyone trying to figure out exactly what those standings are going to look like for the LAN in Belgrade. But for tonight, there's only one thing left to do, and that's talk about tomorrow and the schedule that we're going to be having. Michael, it's going to be packed with action. And listen, with how human everyone has looked so far, right? We could easily see Bestia taking one out over Pain. We could easily see 9Z being felled out by Crew Esports as well. The world is open to every possibility.
Have to say as well, you know, coming into the semifinals, how many Argentines do we have in representation? You know, Pain Gaming, that one squad with full Brazilians, and everyone else occupied by the Argentinian scene. So maybe that's a scene to keep an eye out for, given that Brazil has kind of eclipsed the South American region for such a long period of time. The Argentines are on the rise.
Oh, listen, we've got 9Z's only got one Argentinian, but yes, we've got 2 almost fully Argentinian teams. So that's pretty exciting stuff, but all of that excitement is going to be reserved for tomorrow and beyond. For now, it's been a long day. It's been a great day, but it has to come to an end, and we are going to have to see you guys again tomorrow. Make sure you're tuning in for all of that fantastic Counter-Strike action. The LATAM series still has a way to go.
A very complicated job, but I love simple things so much. One move, one push. One touch. One love. One click. One XBet.